Okay, so my name is Jennifer Keating. I am with Britannica Digital Learning. I am one of the senior education consultants, and I'll give you all of my contact info at the end of the session today. Um, Britannica School, one of the things I really like about it is that it is very easy to use. So it really is easy to kind of hit all these different points when you're working on this with your students. You're really kind of focusing on helping your students to build up these skills. It's easy to access that information, analyze information, evaluate the information, and then use the information when you're working with Britannica School. So I'm not going to go through these just because we've got limited time, but basically there's just some information about how the accessing information, how that supports the Common Core standards, of course, that you use in California. And if anybody wants a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, just let me know. I'm happy to send it along to you. Just send me an email requesting it and I'll send it your way. But what I really want to focus on here, we've got the 5 W's of website evaluation. So I always think that that's kind of the trickiest thing, is sort of how do we support our students as they are learning how to hone those evaluation skills that they have. So one thing that we work with are the 5 W's of website evaluation. We have who wrote it, are they an expert, what is different about this information, what makes this source a good resource, when was the resource last updated, where does the information come from, and why is this information useful. So who wrote it? We have an incredible team of editors who they go out and they actually are right here in the office, but they go and they find the topics, they conduct the research, they find all the information, and they write up the articles. Every article goes through 5 sets of eyes before it gets posted online. So we're really proud of our very strict editorial process, which has worked for Britannica for 250 years now. What kind of information is included? We've got biographies of people, different science topics, social studies topics, historical events, all kinds of different topics that you can think of. We've got an encyclopedia article for it. We also have 3 separate levels. So we've got elementary, middle school, and high school, and your students can go into any level that they feel comfortable in. They can also switch the reading level within every article as well, which we'll see today. When was the resource last updated? So when you're thinking about Britannica, we don't obviously update every article every day, but we have articles that are updated daily. So when people ask, when is this site last updated, you could say this site is updated every day.
Are there like dates on when the last article, that specific article, was updated?
Not at the we have one edition that does have that information, but it's not this one. What we do have, and I'll show you, is you can find at the bottom of the middle school homepage and the high school homepage when our most currently updated articles.
Okay.
So it doesn't say it for every article per se, and that's something that people have been asking about. So I can actually tell the folks in charge that we've got that question again. But you can at least say, you can at least point to it and show your students this is a resource that is updated daily, so it's not an old dusty collection of articles. Where does the information come from? We have a wide variety of resources. Current events, journals and magazines. We've got other books and other resources that we pull the information from. We talk to the people. If we're talking for writing biographies, we'll actually talk to the people who are involved. So we have a large pool that we draw our information from. And why is this information useful? Why should I use this information? Britannica is just a trusted name. We're talking about compiling information. Encyclopedia Britannica is at the top of the list. And we are over 250 years old, and so we have that reputation and that kind of precedes us, which is really nice. And it is an easy way for students to say, this is Britannica, so I know this is going to be good information. So kind of, if you're thinking with Britannica in the back of your mind and you kind of apply these 5 W's, it's really an easy way to kind of show your students Britannica is a great source, but then beyond that, they can apply these to any other resources that they're looking at and, kind of make that mental checklist, and they can decide for themselves if it's a good resource or not. So just a couple of things. I know I mentioned this earlier. We have every article that we have goes through 5 sets of eyes. We have the information architect. Those are the folks who kind of decide what we need topics or articles for, what topics are we going to record and write down. So they kind of decide that information. Then we have the subject editors who actually collect the research. They do all the writing. Then it goes to the fact checkers. They double and triple check everything. Then it goes to the supervisory editors, and they kind of make sure everything is covered, all the information that we need is in the article. And then it finally goes to the copy editors, and they make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and then it gets posted online. So we've got a really, like I said earlier, really stringent path for articles to make it online. We've got incredible, trustworthy contributors. We have our amazing set of editors in the office, but beyond that, we've had Nobel Prize winners write for our articles for us in the past, over 100 of them, in fact. 20 heads of state and world activists, Bill Clinton, Desmond Tutu, they've written articles for us. We've had 4 former US presidents write articles for us as well. So we're really proud of the different kinds of people that we bring in. If you're familiar at all with skateboarding, Tony Hawk, the world famous skateboarder, he actually wrote our article about skateboarding. So we're really excited about bringing those kinds of names in. We've got incredible subscribers as well. So these are other people other entities and institutions that really trust Britannica's information. So hopefully that will kind of put your mind at ease as well, and your students' minds at ease, and let them know that, oh, this is a good resource. If the Supreme Court can depend on Britannica, then hopefully they'll feel that they can depend on Britannica also. So we're going to take a quick look at Britannica School. I know we don't have a ton of time, but we have over 145,000 encyclopedia articles across the 3 different levels. We've got downloadable photos and videos, and that pairs really nicely with the media literacy, because we've got so many great media pieces. We've got historical photos, we've got charts, we've got timelines, all kinds of really neat media pieces that your students can utilize. Articles that are correlated to the state standards. We've got primary source documents, resources for different STEM topics, the World Atlas and the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. We also have My Britannica, which I don't have time to go into today just because we only have about 10 minutes. But if you have any questions, you can, of course, email me, and I will make sure to get that information to you. And of course, students can access Britannica School when they're at school, but they can also go home and access Britannica School. They can access it on their iPads, on their laptops, Macs, PCs, whatever devices they have, they can access Britannica School. So let me go into my little handy dandy website here. So here's the homepage of Britannica School. As I mentioned, we've got the elementary homepage, which is very bright and colorful. We also have the middle school. And then we also have the high school level here as well. As I mentioned earlier, you can see down here some of our new and updated articles for today at the high school level. If it's a new article, it will say new in red letters next to it, but you can see I've updated some of the some articles here. Then some of them might kind of be current event topics, because as things happen, we want to update that information quickly in our articles. And let me go into an article up here. I'm actually going to go into an article about
That's old. You should pick a really current thing.
do you want me to get a different article?
That's okay. Just go ahead. We only have 3 minutes, so.
So what I want to show you is here is an article about Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, you've got just some of the tools that we have within the article I want to point out. As I mentioned earlier, you can see here that you can change the reading level. So if students struggle with the text up here at level 3, which is the high school level, they can actually dip down a level to level 2, which is the middle school level, and might have not quite as much detailed information, and then even down to level 1, which is more high level information. So I really like that piece in there, so students can access the information that they need. That's not going to be too difficult for them to understand, and they can really understand the content better, understand the academic vocabulary better. Up across the top here, you can also share the different articles to Google Classroom and Google Drive if you want. You can print out the text. You have the citation information built right into the article as well. You can also translate the text using the using the Google Translate tool. Right here we have a read aloud function, so if you have any students who can benefit from hearing the text as they read through it, they can certainly take advantage of that as well. And we also have one of my favorite tools is called the Quick Click Dictionary. So if there is a word that students are unfamiliar with, they can just double click on that word and get the definition for that word and even the pronunciation here. So there are things in place to help students understand what they're reading, understand that text even better.
On the listing, does it highlight the words as it reads it out loud?
Yes, it does. That's a great question. As it's reading each paragraph, it will highlight each sentence, not each word, but each sentence.
Thank you.
And then another thing, I kind of had to scoop by it rather quickly, but whenever you run a search and you wind up here in the search results page, let me take back here. In addition to the articles which we're looking at here, on the left-hand side we have additional content as well. So we actually do have images. So again, if you want to use actual media with your students, we have all kinds of incredible media pieces here. Historical events, as I mentioned earlier, we've got diagrams, we've got timelines, all kinds of really amazing images you can share with your students. We've got videos. Down here we have primary source documents as well, so you can use those primary sources. For example, we have the text of the I Have a Dream speech from 1963. So we have all kinds of additional pieces here, and so it's not just encyclopedia articles, it's images, all kinds of other goodies here as well. And those are tools you'll find whenever you run a search in Britannica, so it's not just for the high school level, you'll also find those tools at the middle and the high school level as well. So you can see that accessing information is easy to do. Using the information, pulling the information out is really easy as well. I have to go back to the main session now. I'm not kicking you out, but they're asking me to go back to the main session. I do want to make sure just to put up real quickly my contact info in case you didn't get it before. There's my contact information. I'm Jennifer Keating. My email is jkeating@eb.com. As I said before, if you would like a copy of this PowerPoint, I'm happy to send it your way. Just let me know. Send me an email and I'll send it to you. And we've got about 30 seconds yet, but are there any questions that I can answer that will kind of help you to understand Britannica better, how to use it better? It's very easy to use, and as I mentioned, you can choose any level that you want and also change the reading level, so students can actually find that perfect spot for them. Okay, it's kicking me out. 3, 2, 1. I got to go back to the main session.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hello.
Let's see. I don't think I stopped recording. I don't know if I need to stop recording or.
It says recording for me, so someone's recording. I think it's.
Yeah, I would recommend if the staff stop recording so that your breakout rooms can be a separate file.